How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Rallet, and welcome to another top 10 countdown video. Now, it's been a few days, or almost a week or so, since I last did a top 10 fusions video for you guys, and we're coming here with episode number 2 of our top 10 fusion designs, and we are back today. We're going to take a look at 10 fusions that I think are really amazing and just beautiful, created by amazing designers out there. So if you want to check these people out, there's going to be links down in the description leading to the pages where I found these things, so you can go check out all the people who made these, give them some appreciations, because without these people, these sort of videos would not be able to be done, and I wouldn't be able to create these sort of things for you guys. But either way, if you do enjoy, then do smash the like button below. It really would be appreciated, and I guess that's all for the introduction. Now let's get right into this countdown video. Number 10. Now, kicking off the list at number 10, we're going to have ourselves a fusion between two starter Pokemon. The first one is going to be Mudkip, and the next one is going to be Bulbasaur. Now, you might have wondered, how do you mix up these two Pokemon, one being a water type and the other one being a grass type? Well, you create this thing, the Mudsaur. Now, the name is a bit awkward, if I'm going to be honest, but I do like it though. It's kind of cute, and this thing looks adorable. Now, I don't even want to know how these things can merge together, because that's a bit awkward, but I do want to point out, it does look adorable. I love that they actually changed the body to an orange one instead of having the green one from Bulbasaur, and just overall giving that beautiful little Mudkip face. Like, honestly, who doesn't like Mudkips? I love Mudkips. They're adorable. Look at that thing. I just want to I just want to kiss it. It's so beautiful. Either way, I want to point out that this thing actually is really well made. It's beautifully drawn. It almost looks like a hand drawing, but it's actually drawn digitally, which is so freaking fine. I just love that so much. But that's going to be it for number 10. Let's go over to number 9. Number 9. Now, coming in number 9, we're going to have ourselves a fusion between Cubone and Alakazam, and I've got to say, there's just two things that I love about this thing the most, and it has to be just adding that skull from Cubone to the head of Alakazam is just so well matching. Somehow it actually ends up being so well matched, because it looks almost as if you kind of have yourself a dead Alakazam here with its skull remaining, and it's essentially almost like a ghost type, but essentially it is still like a psychic type Pokemon. And what looks so cool is those purple eyes inside of the skull. They're so well done, and it's just so well drawn. Overall, the actual design, just the overall drawing, is actually really well done in a digital artwork, as a digital artwork, if you know what I mean. It does almost look like the previous artwork on the list, like a hand drawing, but it's done digitally, but it looks so smooth, and I love it. Now, the best part about this thing has to be the freaking spoon that Alakazam holds. Instead of having the spoons, he's actually holding the bones that are usually, the bones of Cubone's mother, but instead of that, we have ourselves these things being the spoons, quote unquote, that he uses to kind of emanate its physical, or no, psychic powers, quote unquote. But that is so adorable. I do think that is so well done. Such a creative twist to it, and I just love that so much. Now let's go over to the next one on the list. Number 8. Now, coming next on the list is going to be number 8, and this is going to be another Cubone fusion, actually, and this one is going to be with the legendary bird, Moltres. Now, there is not much I can really say about this thing, other than it actually looks so freaking majestic. Now, I use the word majestic a lot of times, but this thing is genuinely beautiful. It looks so cool, man, and mixing together that Cubone face with all these Pokemon actually just works every time. Now, the original sprite work does look a bit, flimsy and whatnot, a little bit awkward, I'd say, but actually making it into a drawing, you can just see the huge potential in this sort of thing actually happening. Now, I love this. It is so properly made, and I do think that possibly having a Pokemon with like a skull on its head would be so cool, man. And just look at this, changing the colors of Moltres into dark and white, just like pure white and black colors, actually looks phenomenal. Changing flames into dark flames, like black flames, almost reminds me of that ability that freaking Itachi Uchiha uses in Naruto. If you guys know what I'm talking about. I can't remember the exact name of that jutsu, but damn, if you know what that is, please let me know in the comments below. I'd love to see if you guys can actually know if you actually know what I'm talking about. That'd be so awesome. But genuinely speaking though, I love this design. It is so well made and just so majestic, man. I love it. Now let's go over to the next one on the list. Number 7. Now, coming up next is going to be a fusion between Skitty and Shinx. And now, I've got to point one thing out. Generation 4 is not one of my favorite generations, but honestly, Shinx was definitely one of my favorite Pokemon from that gen. And having it mixed with Skitty, which is from my second favorite generation, Gen 3, actually somehow looks really good. I don't know what's with this design, but I actually think it looks amazing. Now, as you know, Skitty has those closed eyes, which look so weird, but actually on this design, they look so well made. That face looks adorable. It almost looks like a little cat just hunting its own tail, and having that beautiful, just beautiful little star tail is just perfect, man. It fits in well, the colors match really well, and having that color scheme from Shinx on top of the Skitty body actually works well. And hey, honestly, I've got nothing else to say about it. This is the perfect design for a Shinx and Skitty fusion. I don't know what else I can say. All I gotta say is, guys, do you have any suggestions for names? I'd love to know down in the comment section. For all these designs so far, what are some name fusions do you guys think would be cool? Because I don't really know what to name these things. I'm bad at names. So let me know down there, guys. Now, let's continue to the next one on the list. Number 6. Now, Comin X is going to be a fusion between the legendary Pokemon, or the failed experiment, quote-unquote, known as Mewtwo, mixed with none other than Haunter. Now, I love Haunter ever since I first saw Haunter back in the Haunted Tower, I think, was the name of the episode in the anime, and I just loved Haunter since that episode. I just loved him so much, man. But seeing Haunter mixed with Mewtwo here actually looks pretty ominous. Now, this design is actually really creepy, if I'm gonna be honest. Having that Haunter face on top of that Mewtwo body, it looks so weird. I don't know what is wrong with this thing, but I just love it. It's just, I guess, that really awkward feeling of having the arms not even being attached to its body, but having those kind of smoky things coming out of it, being like ghostly and whatnot, actually looks pretty cool. Now, what I love the most about this thing is the shine coming through its head. Just almost like it's a lantern head on top of this body, just that doesn't even exist. Now, I do, like I say, I do love this design. It does look a bit weird though, but I do love it, and I think a fusion between these two, hey, it could actually work. I don't know. I do think it looks nice. I'm gonna put it on this spot on the list. Let's go to the next one, ladies and gentlemen. Number 5. Now, coming next on the list is going to be a fusion between Gardevoir and Lucario. Now, I know Lucario is a lot of people's favorite Pokemon, and I do agree it is a cool Pokemon, but I personally do like Gardevoir way more, as it is one of the coolest Pokemon ever, in my opinion. I do think it's way better than Glade, and a lot of people are going to shit on me for that, but I do just love Gardevoir. I think it's a badass Pokemon, and I just want to give it all my power. I love it. Either way, my point about this design here, as you can see, is that it mixes two Pokemon that are just really badass into one. Now, Gardevoir is a very feminine Pokemon, so how are you going to have those feminine aspects? Well, just look at this. They gave it, essentially, Gardevoir's legs, you know, made the actual, like, the face looks like Lucario, but the body is kind of like, parts of it are really based on Gardevoir, with the colors and whatnot mixing it in there, especially if you look at the bottom part of the actual design. It is fully made to look similar to Gardevoir. Now, what I think is the coolest part about it is it almost looks like, not a skirt, quote-unquote, but it looks kind of like on the line of a skirt on its actual bottom, but it does look badass though. It actually looks like this thing's gonna beat the shit out of you. I mean, would you fight this thing? I wouldn't. I know I'd lose, because I don't want to mess with a freaking Gardevoir Lucario fusion. Lucario would beat the shit out of me, and Gardevoir would be like, oh, bitch, I'm gonna mess you up. So I don't want to mess with this thing, let's be honest. I do think it's majestic though. Having the face of Lucario on there is just badass, and having those hands, or quote-unquote arms, from Lucario mixed into that, perfect. I love it. Either way, let's go to the next one on the list. Number 4. Now, coming next on the list is going to be a Pokemon. I just have to laugh at this fusion, not because it's bad or anything, but it's just so funny, man. This is a fusion between Ponyta and Porygon, and just look at this thing. It is both adorable, derpy, but also it just looks so cool. It's a mixture. Just take Ponyta and put Porygon on top of it. Like, if imagine a sandwich, you take, you know, the Porygon colors, and you're like, oh, put the face on that thing, boom. You literally create this thing. Just look at it. It is perfection. It is derpiness in its highest quality. I love it. Actually changing the flames into blue color is so sick, and having the body look almost like, you know, square-ish or cuboid, kind of to fit the whole Porygon being kind of quote-unquote a robot and whatnot. That style is actually so cool, man. I could imagine this being a form of Porygon. Actually, this would be possibly a cool form to have for Porygon. Let's imagine a horse Porygon, or just imagine a bunch of Porygons turning into different forms. It could work. I don't know. I do think this is possibly something that would be cool to see in an actual game, not just as a joke or a fusion. This actually looks like something potentially amazing to have. Though it does look derpy, I've got to point that out, but I do think it looks cool though. Either way, let's go to the next one on the list, ladies and gentlemen. Number 3. Now, Comin X is going to be my favorite fusion on this list, and it's going to be a fusion mix between Pikachu and Gengar. And wow. Now, why do I love this fusion? Well, it's mainly because of two things. This thing looks just adorable. Now, I know I use these words adorable, cute, fantastic, just amazing, and all these words a lot. I know I always do it, but this thing is just, it's adorableness in its purest form. Look at that face. Imagine a Gengar turned into a Pikachu. With that face, those eyes, you have Pikachu's eyes, adorable little cute eyes, mixed with Gengar's just smile, but it's not the normal Gengar smile, it's made to look even just more cute instead of ominous and creepy like it's gonna eat you. And also, having those Pikachu ears mixed with the Pikachu tail at the bottom is just perfect. It genuinely is my favorite fusion on this list. I do feel it looks beautiful, it looks adorable, and just so cute. Definitely the cutest design on this list in my opinion. Either way, let's go to the next one. Number 2. Now, coming at number 2, we got ourselves a fusion between Aerodactyl and Porygon. And now, the reason I put just this design and this fusion on the number 2 spot is because it actually looks like a potentially cool Pokemon. Now, why do I say that? Because, I mean, when I first saw this, I actually didn't realize this was a fusion between Porygon and Aerodactyl. Now, I just may be blind, but I didn't realize it at first. I was like, oh, this looks like a Fakemon like creation. I didn't realize it was an actual fusion, but then I looked at it and I was like, wow, this is actually so well made. It's incredible how beautiful this is. It just looks like an actual Pokemon that you'd have and not a fusion, and that's what I think is so lovely about it. And the only thing that kind of gave it off once I actually looked at it and I saw, you know, just Porygon down there and Aerodactyl, I was like, oh well, when you look at it, the wings kind of give it off. The wings are the one thing that mostly probably give it off. It's probably because of the top things being the rocks up there, probably give it off instantly if you see this, but I didn't notice it at first, and I do feel like this could possibly be a cool Pokemon to have. Just imagine another like rock or ground type Pokemon. I feel it could be good. I don't know, I feel like it could be possibly good. Either way, that's going to be it for number 2. Now let's go over to number 1. Number 1. Now, coming to number 1 spot, we got ourselves a fusion between Flareon and Noctowl? Well, the reason why I put this on the number 1 spot is because this thing looks like something I wanted for a really long time, and that is a Griffin Pokemon. Now, I always want to have a Pokemon based on a Griffin specifically, just a 100% Griffin Pokemon, and this fusion literally looks like that. It doesn't even, like, at first when I looked at this, I didn't even think about this thing being actually based on either an Eevee or a Noctowl or a Flareon. I just didn't think of any of those options, but then I looked at the little sprite down there and I was like, oh my god, that is incredible. It looks so well made, and I could imagine this thing being almost like a Griffin Pokemon. It actually looks like that, and I feel like that could actually work. I've always wanted to see a Griffin Pokemon, so why would this not be it? This could possibly be it, and I'd love if it does become the one Griffin Pokemon we get. Now, it's not going to happen definitely because, you know, Game Freak's not going to take, you know, fan art and use it, but if they do make a Griffin Pokemon, if they could base it off something like this or this sort of design, I'd be so satisfied. But that's going to be it for this video, guys. If you did enjoy, smash the like button below and also subscribe for future videos, and leave a comment down below telling me what all these names or nicknames you think would be cool for all these fusions. I'm bad at nicknames, as you guys know for previous episodes. That's why I want to know what you guys think are some cool nicknames to come up with. But that's going to be it for today, guys. Also, do check out the designers, because without them, these videos would not be possible. So please do check out the designers in the links in the description down below. But that's it for today. I will catch you trainers the next time. Bye bye.